Hello students, today's first question is Ada and Paul received their scores on three tests. On the first test, Ada's score was 10 points higher than the Paul's score. On the second test, Ada's score was 4 points higher than the Paul's score. If Paul's average arithmetic mean score on three tests was 3 points higher than Ada's average score on the three tests, then Paul's score on the third test was how many points higher than Ada's score? So let us suppose that Ada has scored x1, x2 and x3 in her three tests, and Paul has scored y1, y2 and y3, y1, y2 and y3 scores in the three tests. Now, if Paul's average arithmetic score on three tests was 3 points higher than Ada's average score, so the average for Ada's score will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 whole divided by 3. And in this side, if we put the average of Paul's score, it will be y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. Right? So this one is Paul's average score and this one is Ada's average arithmetic mean for the three tests. Now the question says if Paul's arithmetic score on three tests was 3 points higher than the Ada's average score. So this means that this is 3 higher than the Ada's average score. So we will add this into this side, 3 into this side, so as to make it equivalent. Right? So taking LCM, it will be x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus 9 whole divided by 3 equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3 whole divided by 3. 3 and 3 gets cancelled. Now, in comparison, we have been given that Ada's score was 10 points higher than the Paul's score. So what does that mean? On the first test. So on the first test, Ada's score is x1 and Paul's first test score is y1. So there has been given a comparison that on the first test, Ada's score was 10 points higher than the Paul's score. So Ada's first test score is x1. So that is 10 points higher than the Paul's score. So we can write x1 is equal to y1 plus 10. Fine. Now, on the second test, Ada's score was 4 points higher than the Paul's score. That means on the second test, Ada has a score of x2 and Paul has a score of y2. Then it says that on the second test, Ada's score was 4 points higher than the Paul's score. So x2 will be equal to y2 plus 4. So putting these values, we'll get x1 equal to y1 plus 10 plus x2 can be replaced with y2 plus 4 plus x3 plus 9 equal to y1 plus y2 plus y3. Now y1 gets cancelled, y2 gets cancelled. So we are left with x3, 10, 14 and 9 is 23. So x3 plus 23 is equal to y3. Now, the question asks, if the average is 3 points higher than this, then Paul's score on the third test was how many points higher than the Ada's score? So, see, 23 has been added to the Ada's score. So, that means Paul's score is 23 points higher than the Ada's score, right? So, in the options, we will look for the right option is option D, 23, right? Now, if we see logically that in two tests, Ada has scored more points. In this, it has scored 10 points and 4 points more. So, to maintain the average, and see, it has written that the Paul's average or score on the three test was 3 points higher than the Ada's average score on three tests. So, to compensate that, in the last test, Paul's score is higher, has to be higher than the Ada's score. So, that is 23 points higher. So, option D is the right answer. The price of a certain stock increased by 0.25 of 1% on a certain day. By what fraction did the price of the stock increase that day? So you have been given that a price of a certain stock increased by 0.25 of 1%. So that is basically 0.25 of means multiply of 1%. So this is basically removing that decimal, we will get 25 by 100, or I can say 1 by 4. Into 1% is 1 upon 100. So this in fraction form will be 1 upon 400. So right option will be option number B. For each trip, a taxi cab company charges $4.25 for the first mile and $2.65 for each additional mile or fraction thereof. If the total charge for a certain trip is $62.55, how many miles at most was the trip? So see, we have $4.25 for the first mile. So we will first subtract 62.55. We subtract $4.25 from it. So this will be 0 3, 62 minus 4 is 58. So for the first mile, $4.25 for the first mile. Now $58.30 has been charged for the next n number of miles. Let us suppose these are n number of miles, and for each mile it costs $2.65. Fine. So let us multiply. Let us suppose that it traveled n number of miles. But when you get the answer, don't forget to add 1 to the n, because we have in the starting calculated the and deducted that price for first mile. Now n will be equal to 58.30 divided by 2.65. Now both are having 2 digits after the decimal, so it will be having 100 in the denominator and 100 in the numerator, so they will cancel out. So we're left with 5830 divided by 265. Now see, both are multiples of 5, so 1, now this is 1, 33, 6, 30, 6. So here it will be 5 5 is 55, 1 remainder 53. Now see, 53 is a prime number, so we can't look for further factors of it, so we'll try to cancel out and come nearest to this. So 53 into 50 into 20 will be above 1000. So now unit digit method comes into place. 21 will be having 3 at the unit digit. Now 53 into 22, see, 3 into 2 will be 6, so it is also having 6. Might be it would be less than or nearer to, so we'll try to calculate 53 into 22. So this will be 326, 5 to 10, 106, 601. So this will be 6611. So 1166. So 53 multiplied by 22 is 1166. Now how many miles at most was the trip will be? N is 22 plus 1. Don't forget this one, as students mostly do this mistake. So right option will be 23 miles, and the correct answer will be option number C. See here, 22 has also been written, so this is not the right answer. Option C is the right answer. When 24 is divided by a positive integer n, the remainder is 4. Which of the following statements about n must be true? First is n is even, n is a multiple of 5, n is a factor of 20. So we have been given that 24 is divided by a positive integer n. So what we get is remainder as 4. So see, whenever we divide some number, let us suppose we are dividing 30 by 4. So 4 7, and this is 28, and remainder comes 2. So in that representation, let us suppose the quotient is q. So 24 will be equal to q multiplied by n, that is 7 into 4, right? Q into n, through which we are dividing it. This is called divisor, this is called dividend, and this is quotient, and this one is remainder. So 24 will be equal to 7 into 4 means quotient into divisor, quotient into divisor, through which with which we are dividing, plus remainder. Right? Now n can, what value we will put so that there will be remainder of 4. So first we think of the value that will be, so it is possible only when it reaches up to 20. So if I put the value of n as 5, so in that case q will become 4. 5 4 20 plus remainder 4 becomes 24. Right? So is this the only value? No, we can have the value as 10 also. In that case q will become 2, and 10 into 2 is 20 plus remainder is 4. Is there any more value? Yes, there is another value, 20. So 20 multiplied by 1. In that case quotient will be 1 plus 4. So these are the only values which will be giving remainder as 4, and when n is divided by 24. Now our first statement is n is even. We see in all these cases, is n even? Yes, in this case n is even, but in this case n is odd. So that means this statement is not true in all the cases. Fine. Now second, n is a multiple of 5. Now see, 5, 10, 20, all these are multiple of 5. This is 5 into 1, this is 5 into 2, and this is 5 into 4. So yes, this statement is true that n is a multiple of 5. Now the third statement is n is a factor of 20. Now these are the values of n. N is 5, 10, and 20. Now you tell me, is it a factor of 20? Yes. Factor means that it is dividing it. So it is divisible. 20 divided by 10 is also divisible. 20 divided by 20. So all these are factors of 20. So this statement is also true. So in all we know that statement second and third are true. So the right option will be option number D. D is the right answer. Terry needs to purchase some pipe for plumbing job that requires pipes with lengths of 1 feet 4 inch, 2 feet 8 inch, 3 feet 4 inch, 3 feet 8 inch, and 4 feet 8 inch, and 5 feet 8 inch, and 9 feet 4 inch. The store from which Terry will purchase the pipe sells pipe only in 10 feet lengths. If each 10 feet length can be cut into shorter pieces, what is the minimum number of 10 feet pipes lengths that Terry needs to purchase for the plumbing job. So first of all, we will write 1 feet 4 inch. Second is 2 feet 8 inch. 3 feet 4 inch. 3 feet 8 inch. Next is 4 feet 8 inch. 5 feet 8 inch and 9 feet 4 inch. So this is basically 9, 5, 14, 18, 21, 24, 26 and 25 feet. Right? Sorry, the total will be 9, 5, 14, 14 plus 4, 18, 18, 3, 21, 21, 3, 24, 24, 2, 26 and 27 feet. And in this side it will be 4 plus 8, 12, 12, 4, 16, 16, 8, 24, 24, 8, 32 and this is 32 plus 8 is 40 and this 44 inch. So total length required is total length 27 feet and 44 inches. Further we will break down, you know that 1 feet is equal to 12 inch. So this will become in terms of feet will be 44 divided by 12. So this will be 12, 3, 36. So that means 3 feet and what is the leftover? 8 inches. 12, 3, 36 and this 8 inches. Now add this to this. So this will become 30 feet and you would be having plus 8 inches. Right? So now you can purchase pipes of only 10 feet length. So divided by 10. So there will be 3 lengths over here and 1 length will be for this part plus we will be having 4 inches left. Right? So in total Terry would require to purchase 4 lengths of 10 feet each. Right? So total 4 lengths will be required. Right option is option number B. Now, this question can be framed in another way also, that how much portion of pipe will be left. So it will be further extension of this, that you have calculated that 4 lengths are required and after that 4 inches will be fine. What is the thousandths digit in the decimal equivalent to 53 upon 5000? So 53 upon 5000 can be written as 5 multiplied by 1000. Right? Now we will divide 53 by 5. So this will be 5, 1, 5. So now 3. So this will be 0.030 and this will be 630. So this will be 1.06 divided by, sorry, this will be 10.650 and then there will be 3. So this will be 10.06. 10.06 divided by 10 raised to power 3. So this will be 0.0106. Now you have been asked the thousandths digit. See, if we have a number 543.298. Now this is called ones digit. Then this is tens. Unit tens, or we say it unit tens, and this is hundreds. But to the right of the decimal, the first place is called tenths. Second is called hundreds, and the third place is called thousands. So after decimal, we don't count the unit place. We start from the tens place. Tens and the thousands is the third from the decimal point. So here, third, we have been asked the thousands. So if it is referring to DTHS, so that means to the right of the decimal. If it is referring like thousand, so this is to the left of the decimal. But here it is asking you to the right of the decimal. So third unit will be 0, 1 and this will be the third. So thousand digit will be 0. Right option will be option number A. If 1 by 2, the result obtained when 2 is subtracted from 5x is equal to the sum of 10 and 3x. What is the value of x? So basically in this question he wants that we must change this statement into an equation. So he says if 1 by 2, the result obtained when 2 is subtracted from 5x. So 2 has to be subtracted from 5x. That means 5x minus 2 and 1 by 2 of the result obtained. So is equal to sum of 10 and 3x. So this will be 3x plus 10. Right? Now this will be 5x minus 2. Taking 2 to the other side, this will be 6x plus 20. Right? So since 6x is higher, so we will shift 5x to this side. So this will be 6x minus 5x, and in this side it will be minus 2 minus 20. So 6x minus 5x will be x, and minus 2 minus 20 will be equal to minus 22. So the value of x will be minus 22. So right option will be option A. Since right now we are in the mode of preparing for this test, we will do a test for this value. So here I will write 1 by 2, 5 into minus 22 minus 2. So this will be equal to 3 into minus 22 plus 10. So this will be 5 multiplied by 22 is minus 110. Minus 2 is minus 112 divided by 2. In this side it will be minus 66 plus 10. So this will be minus 56. Now if you divide it by 2, this will be 2, 5, 1 remainder minus 56. So these are equal. So for this, right option is option number A. Very simple question. In a rectangular coordinate system, straight line K passes through points 0, 0 and 3, 2. Which of the following are the coordinates of a point on K? Line K. So first of all, we need to find the slope. Now we have been given 2 points which are lying on this line K are 0, 0 and 3, 2. This is the origin and this is a point 3, 2. And since both are positive, so this will be lying in the first quadrant. Right? Now, slope of a line is equal to y2 minus y1 on x2 minus x1. You can take this in any order, but you have to remember that order, or same for numerator as well as denominator. So now this is x1, this is y1, this is x2 and this is y2. First is always called the x coordinate and the second one is y1. So y2 minus y1 will be 2 minus 0 divided by 3 minus 0. So this will be 2 by 3. So now we have the equation that is y is equal to mx plus c, where c is the y-intercept. Right? Now y, you can pick any of the point from this and put their value. Let us suppose we put the value y equal to 0 and m. Now we have calculated 2 by 3 dot x is 0 plus c. So from this we get the value of c equal to 0. Right? Now you can calculate this from other point also. So y for that case will be 2 equal to 2 by 3 dot x is 3 plus c. Now 3 gets cancelled. C will be equal to 2 will get to the other side. 2 minus 2 equal to 0. Right? So now y is equal to m is 2 by 3 x plus 0, or I can say y is equal to 2 by 3 x. So this is the equation of that line. Right? Now we have been asked to find the points from these 5 options which will lie on this equation. So you see that the y coordinate should be 2 by 3 of the x. Now we'll put the values. First is option A is 9, 4. So for this y is equal to 4. It should be equal to 2 by 3 of 9. So this is 3, 3. This is 3, 6. So this is not equal, 4 is not equal to 6. Now second option 4, 9. So in this case y is 9 and it should be equal to 2 by 3 of 4. So this is 8 by 3. So this is not equal to 9. Now if you clearly observe closely, 2 by 3 of that means x. In this case, if you put the value for the C option, it is minus 4, 6. So 6 should be equal to 2 by 3 of minus 4. So no need to solve this as this will become negative. So this is not equal. Fourth option is minus 6, minus 9. So for this, minus 9 should be equal to 2 by 3 of minus 6. So this will be minus 2. So this is minus 4. This is also not equal. Sorry, this is minus 4. Now last option is minus 6, minus 4. So minus 4 should be equal to 2 by 3 of minus 6. This will be minus 2 and this is minus 2 into 2 is minus 4. So now in the last option you see that minus 4 is coming equal to minus 4. So option E is that point which will lie on a line K which is passing through point 0, 0 and 3, 2, and it's the equation of the line is y is equal to 2 by 3 of x. Right? If car A took 9 hours to travel, n hours to travel 2 miles and car B took m hours to travel 3 miles, which of the following expresses the time it would take car C traveling at the average arithmetic mean of those two rates to travel 5 miles? Now, first of all, let us suppose we know that speed is equal to distance upon time. Now, for the car A case, there are two cases, car A and car B. Let us suppose for this speed is S of A. Now, distance is 2 miles and time taken is n hours. So this will be like this. Now for speed of car B, it will be 3 by 3 hours is the 3 miles is the distance traveled and it took m hours to travel this. So this is the speed of car B and this is speed of car A. Now we have been given that the speed of car C is equal to the average arithmetic mean of these two rates. Rates is basically referring to the speed. So speed of car C, we'll use S subscript C for this. So this is basically equal to 1 by 2. Average is basically 1 by 2. So this will be 2 by n plus 3 by m. Addition of these two rates divided by 2. Right? So this will be equal to m into n is LCM. So here it will be 2m plus 3n. Now this is 2 by 1. So this will become 1 by 2. So this is basically 3n plus 2m divided by 2mn. So this is the speed of the car C in terms of m and n. Now the question asks us which of the following expresses the time it would take car C. So now speed is equal to distance by time. This implies interchanging this, we will get time is equal to distance upon speed. Now distance he has asked us 5 miles. So this will be 5 divided by speed is 3n plus 2m divided by 2mn. Fine. So this will go to numerator. So time taken will be equal to 5 into 2 is 10 mn divided by 3n plus 2n. So C for this option. So first option is the right answer. Option A is the right answer. If x, y and k are positive and x is less than y, then x plus k divided by y plus k is C. We have been given that x, y and k are positive. First is this condition, and second we have been given that x is less than y. Now the question asks us what is the value of x plus k upon y plus k is 1 greater than x by y, equal to x upon y, less than x by 1 by, less than x upon y or greater than x upon y depending on the value of k. So basically we have to make a comparison between the value of x plus k upon y plus k in comparison to the original fraction which is x by y provided x is less than y. So this becomes a, when x is less than y, so this becomes a case of a proper fraction where numerator is less than denominator. Fine. Now I have made a separate video regarding these concepts above proper fraction and improper fraction, but here we know that when a constant value is added to both numerator and denominator of a proper fraction, then its value increases. Now this is a statement. Now we'll prove it. Let us suppose we will pick some values so that it would be easy for us to calculate the ratio. Let us suppose the original fraction is x upon y is 3 upon 4. So the condition for this is x and y has to be positive. These are positive. Now the second condition is x has to be less than y. So x is less than y. Now this is whenever the numerator of a fraction is less than the denominator, this is called a proper fraction. So this is P. Now let us suppose we add a value k equal to 1 to this. Now first of all 3 by 4 is equal to 0.75. Now we'll add 1 to the numerator as x plus k and y plus k. So this will be 4 upon 5. Now 4 upon 5, 1 by 5 is 0.20 into 4, this will become 0.80. So now you see 0.80 is greater than 0.75. So for this it will be greater than x upon y. So in any case the value of x plus k upon y plus k will always be greater than x upon y, and that will be independent of the value of k provided all these are positive. So this will be option B is the right answer. You can put some other value into this and then you add some value of k and try to find out what is you are getting the ratios and do the comparisons. You will find that in any case the value of this is always greater than x upon y. Fine. If you want, I have made a detailed video on proper fraction and improper fraction. You can go and watch that. Consider the following set of inequalities. P is greater than Q, S is greater than R, Q is greater than T, S is greater than P, and R is greater than Q. Between which two quantities is no relationship established? Now, see, we have been given that P is greater than Q. Right? Second, P with relation to P, I have been given that S is greater than P. Right? Now, there are three more inequalities. S is greater than R and S is greater than P also. Right? So I can write that S is greater than P, comma R. Right? Now, R is greater than Q. R is greater than Q. Right? Now, we'll try to represent it in a line. Let us suppose we are arranging them in a descending order with greater on left hand side and smaller one on the right hand side. So first of all, I will write S over here. Now I will do all the comparison. Now S has been given greater than P. Right? Now P is greater than Q. So first of all, S is greater than P, and these are the five inequalities. Now this I have written. Now P is greater than Q, so that means it will lie further over here. Now Q is greater than, here there is one more inequality, Q is greater than T, so that means T will lie to the right side of this. Right? So S, P, Q, T are in this order. Now S is greater than R. Right? P is greater than Q, P is greater than Q, S is greater than R, Q is greater than T, S is greater than P, and R is greater than Q. Right? P is greater than Q, I have written over here. So this condition I have written. S is greater than R. This I have not written yet. Q is greater than T, I have written it over here. S is greater than P, it is also been written, and R is greater than Q. Now these two inequalities, now S is greater than R, so that means R will lie over somewhere here. Right? But there is also one inequality, R is greater than Q. So R can either have placing over here or R can have placing over here. See, S is greater than R. So if I place it R between P and Q, even though S will be greater than R and R is greater than Q, so R has to be to the left side of Q. In that case, it can be greater because we are arranging it in a descending order. But we don't know whether it is placed over here or here. So with respect to P, we don't know the relation. If it is a case that P is greater than R, then R will be placed over here, right? And R is greater than Q and S is greater than R will be fulfilled. But if P is less than R or R is greater than P, then R will be placed over here, right? Rest conditions have been fulfilled. So we don't know the relation between P and R. This is the right option. So the right option will be option number A, right? We can also do it by putting some values to allotting some values to it. Let us suppose we assume the value of S to be 20. Let us suppose we assume the value of P to be 14, Q to be 10 and T to be 6. Now this is the condition which is being followed. Now this is the value for S, this is the value for P, this is Q and this is T. Now the first is P is greater than Q. So P is greater than Q is followed. 14 is greater than 10. Now the second one is S. We will leave this inequality. Q is greater than T. Q is greater than T. 10 is greater than 6. Now S is greater than P. S is 20 and it is greater than 14. So this is also fulfilled. 20 is greater than 14. Now S is greater than R. Now here S is greater than R. So it can have a range from 19 to this point provided R is greater than Q. So R can have value greater than 11 and less than 19, isn't it? Because if I put the value of R to be 21, then S is greater than R is not fulfilled. Basically, we don't know the relation between P and R. If let us suppose R is having value 15, then P will be placed over, R will be placed over here. And if it is having value, let us suppose it is having value 12, then it will be placed over here. So we don't know the relation between P and R. Option A is the right. Carl averaged 2 miles per hour on a trip that took him h hours. If Ruth made the same trip means the same distance in 2.3 h hours, what was her average speed in miles per hour? Now see, there are three variables in this formula. Speed is equal to distance upon time. Whenever you find any of these constant, let us suppose there is a question in which it has been given that the time taken by one person is equal to time taken by other person in this certain trip with having some values for speed and distance. In that case, you will try to put t is equal to d by s for both the conditions. But here it has been given that if Ruth made the same trip in 2/3 h hours, so that means the distance for this is same. That means distance is equal to speed into time. Now, for the case of car, the distance would be equal to speed of car into time taken. So speed is 2m miles per hour. 2m miles per hour multiplied by it took time h hours. Fine. Now, if Ruth made the same trip in 2/3 h hours, what was her average speed? So 2m into h. Let us suppose that speed of Ruth is s into r, speed of Ruth. So that must be equal to speed of Ruth multiplied by time. So time is 2/3 h. 2/3 h. Now here h and h gets cancelled and 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So this will be speed of Ruth will be equal to if we shift 3 to the other side, it will go to the numerator. So this will be equal to 3m. So speed of Ruth will be 3 multiplied by m. Right option is option number E. Now let us suppose a case in which it has been given that the speed of we have been given case. In that case, you will equate it like this. Speed of first person will be d1 by t1, and if speed is same, so s1 will be equal to d2 by t2. So in that case, you would equate d1 by t1 equal to d2 by t2. But here it has been given that distance is same, so we have equated the distance for both car as well as Ruth. Of 3 persons, 2 take relish, 2 take pepper, and 2 take salt. The one who takes no salt takes no pepper, and the one who takes no pepper takes no relish. Which of the following statements must be true? So there are total of 3 persons. Fine. Although we can do this in the form of with the help of Venn diagram also, but we will try to do our reasoning and we will construct a tabular form for this. Now we have been given 3 things. Right? And there are 3 persons. So we will say, let us suppose here we are having persons and here we are having relish, or then pepper and then salt. Right? So there are 3 persons, 1, 2 and 3. Now the question says that the one who takes no salt, let us suppose that is that person who is not taking salt is this one. Person 1 is not taking any salt, and he says takes no pepper. He takes no pepper also. And the one who takes no pepper takes no relish. And the one who takes no pepper, so he takes no relish also. Right? So this is one person who is taking none of these 3 items. Right? Now, and the other thing it says that of the 3 persons, 2 take relish. Now, only 2 are left, so these 2 will take relish, 2 take pepper, these will 2, second, third person will take pepper also, and 2 take salt, so 2 take salt. And the other condition was the one who takes no salt takes no pepper, and the one who takes no pepper takes no relish. Our table is complete now. Which of the following statements must be true? The first statement is the person who takes no salt also takes no relish. See, he's talking of the person 1 takes no salt, takes no relish. Right? So first statement is true. Now second statement. Any of the 3 persons who takes pepper also takes relish and the salt. Any of the 3 persons. So any of the 3 persons we are having who takes pepper are person 2 and 3. They take relish and salt. Also take relish and salt. So they are taking relish and salt also. So second statement is also true. Now third statement. The person who takes no relish. So that is person 1 is not one of those who takes salt. So one of those who takes salt is this person 2 and 3. So he is not that person who is taking salt and relish. He is not taking salt. So option 3 is also, statement 3 is also correct. For this, all the 3 statements are true. So that is the option number E. If a rectangle of area 24 square units can be partitioned into exactly 3 non-overlapping squares of equal area, what is the length of the longest side of the rectangle? Right? So we have been given that a rectangle of area, rectangle is having an area is 24 square units. Now he says that it has been partitioned into 3 non-overlapping squares of equal area. So let us suppose the area of square is equal to S. Now he says there has been 3 non-overlapping squares. So let us suppose that the side of that square is S. So area of that square will become S square, side square. Now there are 3 squares, means 3S square must be equal to the area of this rectangle. So that means S square should be equal to 24 by 3, which is 8. Or side of that square should be equal to under root of 8, which is basically equal to under root of 4.2, which is 2 root 2. Now this means that a square, let us draw a rectangle. Now it has been partitioned into 3 squares. Right? Let us suppose this is square 1, square 2 and square 3. Now we got the side for the first square, that is this is 2 root 2 and this is also 2 root. So these are the same of equal area, so that means their side will also be same. So this will be also 2 root 2 and this will be 2 root 2. So we have been asked that what is the length of the longest side of the rectangle. See, longest side will be this. So we will be having the longest side as the addition of 2 root 2 3 times. So this will be equal to 6 root 2. So the longest side will be 6 root 2, option D. Now to get the check, this is the longest side and the shortest side is 2 root 2. So 6 root 2 multiplied by 2 root 2. So root 2 into root 2 is 2, 6 into 2 is 12. So this will be 12.2 equal to 24, which is the area of the rectangle. Right? So option D is the right answer. In the figure above, the area of the parallelogram is, now see, parallelogram has been given to us with length equal to 12 and breadth equal to 8, and this angle is 60 degrees. Now we know that the area of the parallelogram is equal to area of, we write parallelogram like this, parallelogram equal to base into height. Now base is 12 since opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. For calculating the height means the distance between these two parallel lines. For this we will draw a perpendicular from side AB on CD. Now this is a 90 degree and this is the height. Now if we see closely, AED is a right triangle and we need to find H from this. This is 60 degree. So side opposite to the angle is perpendicular and this is hypotenuse. So we need to find H by 8, that is hypotenuse. Perpendicular by hypotenuse, this is perpendicular by hypotenuse is equal to sine of 60 degree. Right? Now sine of 60 degree is root 3 by 2. So H by 8 is equal to root 3 by 2. This implies H is equal to 8 root 3 by 2, or this is 4 root 3. Right? Now, base into height is the area. So base is 12 multiplied by 4 root 3. So this will be 12 to 24, 48 root 3 will be the area in square units of this parallelogram. So right option will be option number D. Or we can simply do that. AD is 8, so this is 8 cos 60 and this height will be 8 sin 60. So without calculating this, we can simply write that height is equal to 8 sin 60 degree. So in that case, this will be 8 dot root 3 by 2, as you have studied it in your physics also.
So this will be 4 root 3. So this will be the height. Right? So this height multiplied by the base 12 will be the area. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Today's lecture is up to this question. Thank you.